Hello everyone. For the people that do not know me, which most people that will see this video know who I am, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Adam and 22 years old, and I'm here to tell my testimony and just tell you how once where I was with my life and to where I am now, and just the changes and just how the Lord has brought me to where I am today and just, delivered me from all the things I was once doing. And I have some Bible verses to go along with what I have to say. I'm just going to give some of my testimony, and I'm going to have to do like probably 3 or 4 parts videos for time lengths. I can't just fit everything into one, but I have some verses, Bible verses, that are going to go along with what I have to say, just to show you what God said and that, the errors that I was in and stuff like that. So alright, it all started out when I was like 3rd grade. I started smoking cigarettes. That's when I first tried it, and I didn't know how to inhale or anything. I was just puffing in, puffing out, just whatever. Hey, look at me, I'm cool. I hung out with older people. I still hung out with people that were my age, but I hung out with people that were kind of older than me. And so it started off with that, and then once when I got into like 8th grade, like the end of 8th grade and to freshman year of high school, that's when things just really started getting out of control. So then, the gateway drug is marijuana. That's the main gateway drug. People who start doing that stuff, they get involved with other drugs, and people that say that it's not a gateway drug and it's not a drug at all, well, you're very wrong, because there's a chemical inside that plant that when you smoke the buds, it gets you high, it messes up your mind, lack of judgment and stuff like that. Therefore it is a drug. It may not make you do really crazy stuff, but it still messes up your mind. So my gateway drug really wasn't even marijuana, it was alcohol. And people ask me like, well, alcohol is legal, so there's nothing wrong with it. Well, yes, there is something wrong with it. It doesn't matter if it's legal, because God said that there should be no drunkenness. You shouldn't be doing that stuff to yourself. So it doesn't matter what man says, it matters what God says. And alcohol is a poison you put in your body, and it messes up your judgment, it messes up your emotions, you act out, you do things that you normally want to do, you get in trouble with the law. People go out and drink and drive, they end up killing people and stuff like that, and most of the time the drunk drivers never die or get hurt, because we all know that when your body's so loose and relaxed that when you get into that accident, you go with the flow with your body. Other people tense up and everything, so then that's what causes injury to them and death. Now, so alcohol was my gateway drug. It started with that. And the first time I got drunk was when I was 12, and then it's just, from there it started escalating into doing other things. And my friend Kyle, and if you're watching this, Kyle, I remember the stuff that you told me. At first, he wouldn't even want me to do it, and he would even tell me, your parents are going to kill you, Adam, you shouldn't be doing this stuff, don't do it. But, eventually I just really gave into it, and I just started from there. And once when I got into freshman year of high school, that's when I really started smoking weed a lot, basically every day. And same with alcohol, still hooked on that. And then it just started getting to the point where when my high school career was continuing and getting to like sophomore and junior year, I've always been the type of person, like my personality is, I love people, and I am the type of person where, I'll take the shirt off my back for you. Like, I treat people the way that I would like to be treated. And so I always wanted to be the cool guy and fit in and be popular and stuff, but as I started getting really involved with drugs and everything, then depression started kicking in. Then I started thinking that the world hated me, everybody was out to get me, no one loved me, and just, I had suicidal thoughts. And if any of you that are watching this and you've known me in high school, you've seen the way I was, and, I was kind of a quiet person, and I just was afraid to act out and say, speak up, because I just thought people were going to point the finger, laugh at me, and judge me. And so then, after that, then the depression kicked in so much that it just came to where, I was just afraid, and I started listening to a lot of heavy metal bands, and I don't listen to that music anymore, and it's for a good reason, because music has a huge influence on people. People relate to music. They, connect their emotions with the song. They listen to their favorite bands and they're like, oh, that really touched me. I feel for them, or hey, I went through the same thing, and stuff like that. So I got caught up with the heavy metal, and I never used to listen to that music. I always stayed away from it, because when we were young, me and my family, my two brothers and my sister, our mom picked up the Bible and just, she beat us over the head with it, not literally, but with the words of God. She always dumped it into our head, don't do this, don't do that. Jesus did this, therefore you should follow him, just spreading the word to us and teaching us. So I stayed away from like all that music, because I knew it was bad, and I was actually kind of scared listening to it, because when Fuse came out, MTV2 and all those channels, the music channels came out, and when MTV was not all reality, and when they still showed some music, I'd be flipping through the channels, after I got done listening to my favorite song, or a song that I liked, I'd flip through the channels, go find something else to listen to, and I'd come across like, just heavy metal bands, and watching those music videos and the way they presented themselves as very dark, and hate, anger, and suicide, just depression, stuff like that. I felt inside me that I was like, ugh, like I was, kind of scared to even watch that. Like I didn't want to watch it, but curiosity came upon me, and I was like, well, let me just listen to a little bit of it. I want to see, I want to see what this is all about. And the more I started doing that, the more I started saying to myself, oh, there's nothing wrong. This is actually kind of cool. I like this. I like this stuff. And listening to that kind of music is bad. I would just the stuff they preach and everything. They preach hate. They preach about suicide, depression, murder, stealing, sex, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. And listening to that stuff all the time just started corrupting my mind. And what people don't understand is that music like that, secular music, has a lot of them have subliminal verses in them. And if you don't know what subliminal means, it means that you don't hear it physically, you don't hear it audibly to your ears, but you subconsciously hear it. And what I mean by that is, if you ever heard of taking a vinyl record and playing it and then spinning it backwards, in reverse, and with the lyrics that are said when you play them backwards, then there's subliminal messages that come out. And I don't advise anybody to do that. Don't ever do that, because that's no good. Don't do that. But that stuff is played in the song and you don't hear it. You just hear the words that they're singing, but your mind subconsciously picks that up and takes it in, takes into that information. And you know, if you're listening to a song that's really bad and it's like, you know, the subliminal verse in it says, you know, kill, you know, hate, you know, you're worthless to life, you know, kill yourself, stuff like that. Like I said, you're not hearing that. You don't know what it was being said, but your subconscious does pick it up. You do pick it up. And you listen to that stuff over and over and over again, you're eventually going to start having these thoughts like that. And even music nowadays, you know, nobody wants to hear screaming and heavy metal and stuff like that. You know, heavy metal was really big back when Metallica and stuff, bands like that were getting popular, and then like the early like the whole 90s era, that was when heavy metal was like really big and played on the radio and all that stuff. Nowadays it's not. It's more Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake, and just party music, bands like that. And you don't understand that that type of music is also evil as well, even though it doesn't have screaming in it and telling you to go kill people, stuff like that. It's still evil because what they preach. And also there could be subliminal verses in those songs as well. Just the stuff they preach, that, you know, party, go out and get drunk at the club, have a good old time, and you know, that's living for the world, and that's not living for Christ. So, you know, I'm not going to extend more of this with the music, but I hope you have an understanding about that, how music, you know, impacts people, and that's how it impacted me. So anyways, going back with the music and everything with me, and then just listening to all that stuff, I became more hateful towards people, and you know, my mouth was disgusting. Like every single sentence that I said had to have the F word in it, and just cussing like a sailor, and making fun of people, and just lashing out at people, and even towards my family. Like it got really bad with my parents. You know, I was so rebellious and out of control that, you know, I'd tell my parents to, you know, stick it, go fly, and get away from me. And just my hate towards people, and you know, you say one little thing to me and I'd just snap. And some of my friends, you know, if you're listening to us, you listening to this, you know how I was, and we've all collided. We butt heads many times, and like, you know, I'd freak out over stupid stuff and just get angry. And so then it started just going in more with, you know, drugs. I started getting more into harder drugs. I started doing cocaine all the time. Tried shrooms. I did a little acid. Just psychedelics and hallucinogens, and just got all mixed up into that stuff. And you know, I knew a lot of people that they were able to get a hold of these types of drugs, and you know, I didn't even care what it was. I was at the point in my life where I just didn't care what it was. I wanted to try it and, you know, just get as messed up as possible. I just wanted to be to the point where I was so messed up I thought I was going to die. Like, that's how messed up I wanted to be. Like, the point of, you know, overdose. And it just got so out of control with that. And then, you know, my good friends, the ones who stayed away from drugs and everything, and that, you know, they were trying to help me out throughout the whole thing. And, you know, I rejected them, and I ignored them and ditched them all the time and treated them like crap because, you know, they didn't smoke weed, they didn't do drugs, therefore I wanted nothing to do with them. And, you know, just with my family too, just wanted nothing to do with them. I just wanted to go out and do drugs, have a good old time. It was all about me. It was all about me, no one else. And so then it just escalated from there. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I'll be back with the second part.